Hi guys, it's Miss Verbanic. Okay, so this is going to be your second math lesson for week 2. And we are going to keep going on with telling time to the half hour, okay? And last week I know we did a lot with telling time to the hour. And this week I'd like to focus more on the half hour, okay? And I know we're moving pretty quickly, so if we need to, we can go back and review both hour and half hour for now, okay? All right, so I'm going to share the screen with you now. Okay. All right, so today we're still talking about our half hour, okay? And I want to talk more about like the minute hand, going on with that. Okay, so just as a review, hour hand. Remember, the hour hand is the shorter hand on the clock, okay? So the shorter hand is right here, okay? That's going to be our hour hand. It's always the shorter one, okay? Let me actually pull out my clock, okay? All right, so I'm going to show you this. Remember, our hour hand is the shorter one. Our minute hand is the longer one, okay? And again, when we're talking about the half hour time, we're talking about the minute hand being half of the clock, okay? So if these are all my minutes, remember there's 60 minutes, okay? Each one is gonna be worth 5, so it's kind of like we're counting by 5, okay? So right here is 0, then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, or back to 0, okay? So remember when we're telling time to the half hour, okay? So if I said I wanted to say 10:30, because remember, 5, we're not gonna start with, this is 0, okay? So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is always at the 6. So your hour hand is actually gonna not lay right on that. It's gonna go up slightly, because remember, as you're moving, this is moving too, okay? So your hour hand is gonna start to move slightly towards the 11, because it wants to go 10:30 to the next hour, which is 11. So it's gonna look something like this, remember? Okay, so it's going to be a little bit above the 10 and below the 11, okay? So what we want to do is always say the number that's right before it, okay? So this would be 10:30, okay? All right, I'm going to go back to sharing the screen with you, okay? All right, so remember the minute hand is the longer hand. And if I'm looking at this digitally, I can see that this says 12:30, right? It's the 12th hour and 30 minutes, right? So if I'm looking up here at the clock, you can see, right, that the hour hand is showing the hours to 12. It's not exactly on the 12, it's a little bit past, but if I was to take and dot this straight up, I would know that the number right before tells me the exact time. I wouldn't say it was 1:30, I would say it was 12:30. And I know that it's 12:30 because I could count. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, right? Okay, so we're gonna do a couple little examples. And let me just pull this up. Okay, so we'll do a couple little quiz, and this should help you with your telling time packet, okay? So it's not gonna look like your packet, but it's gonna help you do your packet. So it says, which clock has the same time? Now, if we're reading this, remember, there's our number, there's the colon, the 2 dots, and then that's how we read our number. We know that's the number 30. So I can see visually that this says 5:30, right? 5:30, okay? So which one of these says 5:30? Let's look. Okay, if I'm looking at this first one, A, right here, the hour hand is right in between the 7 and the 8, and I'll make a little dotted line for it to go out, okay? The minute hand is on the 30. So I know, whoops, back button. So I know that what? I know it's going to at least have 30, right? Okay, so let's look. Remember, when we're looking at this time, it always goes to the number right before. So what number is that? Good, it's 7. So this time says 7:30. Does that match this one? No, nope, nope. All right, let's look at number B. So it can't be A. B, right here, okay, it looks like my long hand or my minute hand is pointing again to the 6, which we know says what? 30. So something 30, right? So I can write that in. Okay, so we got to figure out what number comes before. So again, I'm looking at my hour hand. It's not going to point directly to the number that I want. I know. So what we're going to have to do is extend it a little bit. Okay, and what number comes right before? Okay, the 2. And when I say right before, I mean because the clock is moving in a clockwise position, which means it's going like this. The way my arrows are going, it's going like this. Okay, here I'm going to stop sharing for a second and show you on this clock. Okay, so what's going to happen is your time is always going to go clockwise. So it's always going to move like this, right? Always going to move like this. So it's going to start up with a 12 and go and just count down the numbers so it gets back up and keep going around and around and around. And that's what we say clockwise. Okay. All right. I'm going to go back now. Okay. So the number right before is 2 because we know 2 becomes before 3. So that time says 2:30. So it's not that one, is it? No. Okay. Let's look at this one. It says, let's see, our long minute hand is what? Pointing to the 6. So if we know, if we counted by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, again, we're at the 30. It's something 30, right? Okay. And if I'm looking at my hour hand, right? If I extended that out just a little bit, okay? What's the number that comes right before? Good, the 5. All right, so I'm going to write that in so I know that the time says 5:30, okay? So it says, which clock has the same time? 5:30. Does that match up here? It does, okay? Well, it's not going to let me do that, but we know that this one is the answer. Let's see if it's going to let me. There we go. So this clock is the right answer. This one matches this one. So this clock right here matches this digital time there. Okay? Okay. Whoops. Something's happening. Oh. All right. Hang on just a second, friends. Okay. So real quick before I leave you, so we're going to talk again about our half-hour time. So I'm going to give you a couple quizzes with this, right? Okay, so I want it to be to the 30, okay? So what number does my long minute hand have to be on? Which one? Has to be on what? Let's see, let's count. This is my 0, okay? I know it doesn't say that, it says 12, but we're always gonna say that this is 0, because remember when we're writing a clock, it's 0, 0. So let's count. The 1 is gonna be your 5. So these are all little minutes. So if I was to literally count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So if I counted every one of these little notches, it should add up to 30 minutes, right? So I'm going to put my long hand on the 30. Whoops. Okay. So what time did I just say it was now? My minute hand's on the 30. Okay. And now remember, when I'm looking at this, it's going to be to the number that's right before. So if I was to extend my hour, what's the number right before? 1, right? It wouldn't be 2, it'd be 1. So the number right before. So this says 1:30. Okay? All right, I'm going to leave it right on the 6, so we'll keep 30. But now I'm going to see if we can make another one. Okay. How about this one? What do you think? All right, so I know it's something 30 because look, it's pointing to the 6. Okay. So my hour hand is right between the 9 and the 10. Okay, remember what I said, it's always going to be the number right before. The number right before is what? 9. So the time is what? 9:30. Good. All right, so I'm going to stop there today, okay? Again, if you have any questions about any of this, make sure that your parents are reaching out, okay? And again, I'll probably go over some more lessons review at the beginning of next week, going over the half-hour times. And I have a couple of fun videos for Brain Pop too, okay? All right, you guys have a good night. Okay, bye-bye.